Welcome, Formula Forza fans. We are back after about a month off. We're here in Scarperia, Italy for the 10th round of the Formula Forza R1 Championship, the 2013 season. We're here at the Mugello circuit. We're on board right now with the one named Jack, who qualified 6th, but first let's get to the big surprise of qualifying. LMR Deftone, new driver for Midnight Performance Development, on pole with a 131.583. FMS Senna just behind that, narrowly got out qualified here, a 131.593, just a hundredth of a second between the two. Johnny Two Shoes, the pole sitter's teammate from Midnight Performance Development, gets a 131.643, ends up third. Let's see, the Boulenwall 5 then for Pennzoil Zexel with his Bentley ends up 4th with a 131.697, then nearly a second to 5th place XPR Roadrunner for Serpent Racing, a 132.547, with the one named Jack splitting his teammate. The one named Jack qualifies 6th with a 132.760. XPR Overdrive then, the other Serpent Racing car, 132.831 is 7th. TIR Shodan would have been 8th on the grid, but is not here today, so he is just out. Scurry 76 moves up into 8th place then for Caterham Team GB. That's a 132.933. XY 101 for Caterham Team GB, a 132.941 on the grid. Chicken McHaggard for Jet Lotus is 10th, with Alex P for Aces Wild with a 15% power restriction, still manages to go a 133.473. TLR Eclipse is 12th on the grid, 133.516. Mr. Dr. Spaceman for Midland Sport is 133.611. James Hall then takes the last spot for Jet Motorsport AMG with a 133.807. We have a long run down into the first turn, so we should be clean. And they're away. Senna's going to be looking for the lead here down into the first turn. Looks like Overdrive is up a position already on the one named Jack. A bit of contact. Senna goes wide into turn 1. He's going to have to start from the back then. Into turn 2, a little wide from XPR Overdrive. Looks like the one named Jack may take his position back. Nope, he retains it. We still have Deftone leading this race from Johnny Two Shoes, his teammate. This could be a Midnight Performance Development 1-2 here. That'd be great for them. XPR Roadrunner is 3rd right now, Boulenwall 5th. We're on board with Overdrive. Ooh, a little wide there from Boulenwall. A little slippy from him. Overdrive is 5th, then the one named Jack is 6th, XY101 up into 7th, Scurry 76 is 8th, Alex P is 9th, Chicken McHaggard is 10th, James Hall 11th, FMS Senna down to 12th, TLR Eclipse is 13th. Take a look at the battle for 2nd place right now. Very close into turn 14 as they get the runoff into the longest straight on the course. You can see Boulenwall keeping tight to the back of that Ferrari. He will probably peek out. Yep, try and make a move there. That is Boulenwall up into 3rd. Can't keep the position under braking. Those just phenomenal brakes of that Ferrari into turn 1 there. XPR Roadrunner piloting this Ferrari here certainly knows the limitations of those brakes and how he can extract those to full advantage. That was massive. It really did look like Boulenwall was going to have that position until that Ferrari laid on the brakes there. This track is all about double turns. We're going through 8 and 9 right now, but each section of the track has these chicane-like turns. Where this is 10, here's 11 here, and around the track it has just a ton of these double turn setups, and the drivers that are able to to master those double turns are the ones that are really going to come out the winners here. We may see some strategy here, just because we have the finale coming up, and Le Mans is so affected by power restrictions that whoever the winner is, if they haven't already had an immunity lost, could be facing 10% power restriction, which could drastically affect their race. Johnny Two Shoes right now is second, and if he finishes there, he will have 5% for the historic race. Well, this looks like Boulenwall is going to try it again. This time holds it, breaks deeper. Looks like he's got the position. Can he hold it through the next consecutive corners here? Looks like he has. He's mastered that position. That's Roadrunner down into fourth, Boulenwall up into third. One named Jack then completes an early pit stop. Get his out of the way. He is 12th. Looks like Scurry76 right behind him did pretty much the same thing. Did an early pit stop there to avoid running in traffic. We'll see how that works out for them as this race continues. FMS Senna then continues to claw his way up through the field. TLR Eclipse either lags out or retires from the race here. That's tough for Tech Life Racing. That'll be another low point score for them since TIR Shodan was not able to make the grid today. Looks like Senna is honing in on the back of XY101, who currently occupies 6th. Certainly looks like he's got the legs on him. That's XY101 then going into the pits. Senna does pick up 6th by default then. That's almost an ideal solution for Senna, perhaps even for XY101. We see Alex P back there in the Panos, the tan Panos. They've adopted a slightly different paint job for the remainder of the season there. That's the American Army, I believe, livery for that Panos. Now, Senna switched to AVR early in the season after the third race, immediately after his win at Sebring, and has done rather well with this Lola chassis, Mazda-powered Lola chassis, for pretty much the remainder of the season. The pole position has eluded him, and it looked like he was going to get it again this week until he was out-qualified within the last 15 minutes again by LMR Deftone. Now, Deftone is in for Goddess de Plum, as Goddess de Plum was issued a 2-race suspension for his unsporting conduct at the German Grand Prix when he caused an intentional restart there for that race. Unfortunate to see that. He has since apologized for his actions, and the team is just looking forward to moving on from that incident. They take the penalty and deal with it the best they can now that the damage has been done. Looks like Senna is now trying to reel in XPR Overdrive, who is now into turn 1. We'll see what the gap here is between Boulen and Johnny Two Shoes. Not far. Boulenwall probably not likely to finish on podium. If he is, he's going to want second place. 5% probably will not hinder the Boulenwall all that much at Le Mans, but will still make that a more exciting race if he does end up getting the 5% for finishing second. It would be almost unheard of if he tried to win this race and collect a 10% power restriction. For those of you that are new to Formula Forza, our power restriction system is as follows. Anytime you land, that is Boulenwall going into second, then Johnny Two Shoes goes a little wide into turn 10, allowing Boulenwall by. As I was saying about the power restrictions, if you finish on the podium, you're going to get a power restriction. Unless it's your first podium, you get an immunity. If you finish second or third, you get a 5% power restriction. If you finish first, you get a 10% power restriction. The effects are stacking, so if you win 3 races in a row, you'll compete the 4th event then with a 20% power restriction. So the idea is to keep these races competitive, and each race that you finish off the podium, you can remove 5% power restriction. So, as they finish off the podium, they'll start getting back some of that needed power. And so far this season, I'm pretty sure even the top 10 all have power restriction issued to them at some point, or have burned through their immunity. So it is really just a balancing act to make sure that these races stay competitive throughout the 11 race calendar. I apologize, that's the top 9 that have had power restriction. That's 10th. XPR Overdrive has not had a power restriction yet, but looks really poised to be able to do a podium, perhaps here, if further mistakes are made by Johnny Two Shoes, who's currently sitting 3rd. That would allow one of the Serpent Racing boys up into the lead. They would be keen to let Overdrive take that, as XPR Roadrunner has already burned through his immunity and would face immediate power restriction at the next event. The power restriction is in place for qualifying and the race, so it is quite critical that these drivers are somewhat strategic about when they choose to finish on the podium, unless they're just, the goal is to finish as high as you possibly can every race, which is some teams will adopt that strategy, and Lotus Racing in the first season did that, and Scuderia Ferrari adopted that same strategy last year. It looks like Pennzoil-Zexel may wrap up this the 2013 season here with a little bit similar strategy. There has been some maneuvering to avoid power restriction where it would hurt most, but it really has helped balance the field and make it so it's not such a runaway from the top drivers. Take a look at Serpent Racing here, see how close this race is between the two. Yes, that looks like XPR Roadrunner then taking 3rd from Johnny Two Shoes. I'm sorry, that's FMS Senna in 5th, who's currently battling it out. Does look like he has some rear end damage. Not sure where that came from, but he is certainly trying to get around this Ferrari. Might be able to do it here. That acceleration of that Ferrari is just phenomenal. Last year's pole sitter and race winner is not present at this race this year due to schedule conflicts, but that is the team boss of LLBM R1. That's BTR Villeneuve. Looks like FMS Senna has not pit yet. We'll see whether the Ferrari has not either. So this certainly is for position. Johnny Two Shoes still ahead in 3rd. I apologize for the mistake earlier. We'll go back and watch Senna here try and make a maneuver here. Turn 8 and 9, not typically an overtaking position. But if a mistake is made, certainly could happen. He's going to duck to the inside. You can't beat those Ferrari brakes, though. He backs off, slots in, and lines up for turn 11 here. A little tail happy from this Lola chassis, but some of that could come down to how they've set up the car and a risk that they're willing to take. Back and right on board with Chicken McHaggard, Jet Lotus driver. Looks like he's in a world of his own right now. run up to our race leader, Deftone. Fastest lap of the race right now, 1:31.984, set by Deftone here. The number 29 chassis from that team. Last lap of 1:32.338 as we approach the quarter finished mark here. 1:31.997 from the Buhlenwald, also quite impressive. This is his last lap, so he's catching Deftone just slightly. He may want to get in the lead just to control this race. Likely not finish there. So we have Johnny Two Shoes right now, 1:32.394, with his last lap of 1:32.490. Fairly consistent from him, but not near his qualifying pace. We'll stay on board with him until he finishes out lap 10 of the race here. As he comes into the pits, rather. That was rather abrupt. So with him in the pits, that puts XPR Roadrunner up into third, Overdrive in fourth. Where does that put Senna? Senna has pit now. He's seventh. We'll see if he passes Johnny Two Shoes on the exit here. No, he does not. Johnny Two Shoes clear of him. Not far ahead, though. So we'll see how the AVR driver, FMS Senna, can stitch together his lap here. We've got Chicken McHaggard back up into fifth as a result of the pitting. He's kind of running clean air here in the mid 132s, his best, a 33 nearly flat, his last lap there. Serpent Racing yet to pit. We'll see what happens when they do pit. Whether they can keep a gap to Senna or whether they will fall in behind. Overdrive then commits to the same plan as his teammate of not pitting this lap. They may be headed for a late pit. One named Jack just getting ready to finish his 11th lap. We'll take a look at how the K-Trim Team GB guys are doing here. Looks like they're running a race pretty close to each other. You can see the one named Jack there in the background of that last shot. We'll switch now back up to the Serpent Racing boys. You can see Chicken McHaggard trying to close in on the two. Gap to his teammate XPR Roadrunner is quite significant now. Let's see where Roadrunner is on track. Quite a few turns ahead. With unfortunately no cars in sight. Take a look at how close the Bullen wall is to, there you can see the leader ahead. Just came out of turn 13, headed into 14 now. At least keeping an eye on the race leader here. Last lap was practically a second down on his best. We'll see how we finish out lap 13 here. A 1:31.777, his fastest of the race. We'll see if that it does actually take. Yes, it does. That is the fastest lap of the race. 1:31.7 from Bullenwall. Only a tenth off of his qualifying pace. LMR Deftone has yet to hit that pace. He's about 4/10 off of his qualifying pace. But when you're in the front, you generally don't want to push for that 100%, because you could lead yourself into making a couple of mistakes that obviously you don't want to have if you're leading a race. So you really just run it fast enough to keep the gap. So he's now running into turn 13. We'll take a look at where third place XPR Roadrunner is. A couple of turns behind. This is now 12. Still can't really see the race leaders at this point. See if Chicken McHaggard is making any progress. Looks like he is. He's got overdrive in his sights. That's fastest lap of the race for Chicken McHaggard, a personal best rather, on lap 14. He's really motivated by fourth place ahead. Chicken McHaggard has not pit yet, so we'll have to see how that works out. But the two drivers both have not pit so this is for position. A little wide there from Chicken McHaggard, ruins the lap, gives some gap there to XPR Overdrive. He's going to have to make that up with some additional consistency. See where Johnny Two Shoes is on track. Several turns back. But remember, Johnny Two Shoes has pit, so he's good to the end of the race now. It'll be 25 laps from now. There's the Aces Wild updated livery there for Alex P. Not far behind is XY101. Senna now looking to make a maneuver on Johnny Two Shoes. really unknown which of the two is more capable here. I suppose it really comes down to driver skill. The cars are pretty equal between the Toyota and the Mazda B09. Maybe just a touch more handling out of the Mazda. Or the Lola chassis here, rather. But he is gaining on him. This could be an interesting race here in just a turn or two. It's already getting there. Turn 12 now, they head into the high-speed chicane of 13. That is full throttle there. This will be down 2 gears here into the final turn 14 before they get onto the back straight. Rather early throttle point. He will have the draft, which will help him out a little bit. But it looked like Johnny Two Shoes got a really good run off of that. So this is then the battle for 4th. Chick McHaggard trying to close up ground on XPR Overdrive for Serpent Racing. Just can't seem to do it. We'll go back to Senna and see how he's doing on Johnny Two Shoes. Looks about a similar scenario. 132.539 last lap from FMS Senna. Let's see what we have from Johnny Two Shoes here. 132.299. Johnny Two Shoes actually pulling away just a little bit there. See if James Hall, back in 12th at the moment. Appears to be a little bit of a ways off of next Scurry 76. Looks like the one named Jack just got around Scurry. Yes, he did, into turn 2. headed now down into turn 5. I'm sorry, this is 4-5. That's up a position for the one named Jack. He's really got to claw through the field a little faster if he's... ooh, he's making some mistakes there. He's going to have to claw through faster if he wants to get the positions he's looking for. Certainly a handful here at the Italian circuit, this Panos. Ahead, XY101 finishes his 19th lap of the race. He is 0.8 of a second off his best. Certainly lagging a little bit, but still faster than the one named Jack behind. Last lap was a 1:34.496 as he tried to get around Scurry 76. We'll take a look at where the battles are for 6th and 4th, respectively. FMS Senna still trying to close that gap to Johnny Two Shoes. Go ahead, Chicken McHaggard. Yes, still drafting. Still drafting on overdrive here. We're headed down into turn 6 and then 7 here. If you get it right, 7, 8, and 9 can be taken full throttle, but man, you have to have almost a perfect setup to be able to do it. You can hear him lifting. It looks like overdrive went a little wide there. Turn 9, now down in turn 10. He's all over the back of him. Is he going to get it down into turn 12? Nope, Chicken thinks better of it. Prefers rather just to keep the pressure on him, hoping for a bigger mistake then. That's overdrive into the pits then. Chicken McHaggard does take over 4th place and can now resume running some clean air. We are at the halfway point of the race. Overdrive does come out 7th. So we still have LMR Deftone for Midnight Performance Development still leading this race. With Boulenwald not far behind. This is first you're looking at, second right behind in yellow. This could come down to the wire, and this will be interesting to see what Boulenwald decides to do with his strategy here. Sounds like they are coming up on some lap down traffic. 132.478 his last lap. Let's take a look at the Buhlen wall, see if he has gone any faster. 131.772 is still his best, a 132.4 his last, perhaps impeded a bit by race leader LMR Deftone. Third on the grid right now, Chicken McHaggard. After XPR Roadrunner then takes his pit, comes out ahead of XPR Overdrive. So that means Johnny Two Shoes still remains ahead of those two. We'll see where Chicken McHaggard finishes when he takes his pit. So Johnny Two Shoes in good position then for picking up a podium if that's what he wants. On board now with FMS Senna as he continues to try and reach for fourth, trying to take that position away from Johnny Two Shoes. This could be the battle for a podium position after Chicken McHaggard makes his pit stop, his mandatory pit stop. One interesting thing is that this Lola seems to be fairly good on its tires. .32.301 from FMS Senna that last lap, certainly picking up some pace. Johnny Two Shoes ahead, 132.1, so they're both really pushing each other to go faster here. Johnny Two Shoes getting just a little bit more out of the car than fifth place FMS Senna at the moment. Johnny Two Shoes will be really looking to bounce back after a loss of connection at the last race, but had a fantastic battle between himself and Magnum 278 from Jet Motorsport. So a podium here, although it would give him a power restriction, would really be the bounce back he's probably looking for rather than fourth place. So far this season, no driver has been able to achieve 3 wins in a row, or 3 wins across the season, I apologize. And it doesn't look like that's going to happen here either. Deftone leading the race, Buhlenwald is second. If Buhlenwald can make that pass around him, that would be the win, and would be his 3rd win of the season. This race was LMR Deftone's first pole position in his Formula Forza career in any series. Good that it does qualify, or does count towards the R1 championship. Those are generally more... Ooh, looks like Senna going a bit wide there out of turn 9. They both go down in turn 10. It looked like he was really trying to catch him there. But yeah, those pole positions in R1 always seem to count for just a little bit more in the driver's mind. Looks like Senna's going to try and make it. No, he's going to go wide. He's going to have to back out of it and slot in for turn 14. Try and get a good run here. He's got the great draft. He's going to make a maneuver right at the end of the straight. Which way is he going to go? He's gone to the outside for turn 1, the optimal braking line. Looks like he's tucked ahead just a bit, but he's taking the wider line. He's going to have it. He does take the position. Johnny Two Shoes goes down into fifth. And that's FMS Senna now up into fourth. That was well earned there. Really close wheel-to-wheel racing from the pair of them. That's good battling. Now FMS Senna can concentrate on picking up Chicken McHaggard, perhaps getting himself back on the podium for AVR. It is a pit stop then for the lead pair. LMR Deftone makes his pit stop at the end of lap 25 and now is completing his installation lap on this new set of tires. Buhlenwald behind presumably did the exact same thing. Let's take a look. Yes, those are new tires for him, and the Buhlenwald, new tires for him as well. Looks like Chicken McHaggard, yes, coming into the pits right now, has already fallen to fifth. FMS Senna up into third. Johnny Two Shoes fourth now. Chicken McHaggard, will he keep the position? Nope, he loses another spot to the Serpent Racing, falls to sixth. So that's XPR Roadrunner fifth. There goes XPR Overdrive into sixth, pushing Chicken McHaggard to seventh. Chicken McHaggard may be able to overtake Overdrive before the end of the race here, though. They're not that far away. Johnny Two Shoes still keeping within close range of FMS Senna, just in case a mistake is made, like at Sonoma, the Sonoma GP at Infineon, where FMS Senna had the race in the bag for his third win and made a fatal mistake going wide and handing the win to BTR's In Flames for his second win. There's Buhlenwald there, falling back just a bit, perhaps trying to start positioning himself to allow FMS Senna up and get himself off the podium if he wants to ensure a win at Le Mans, the season finale in 2 weeks. If Buhlenwald does drop himself off the podium, that could allow Johnny Two Shoes back up onto the podium. We'll see how that plays out for those two. The one named Jack at the back, did he incur some damage? Looks like no. So then that is the one named Jack. They're back into 12th. You see him honing in on James Hall and that Acura. And that's, let's see, Scurry 76 there in 10th, just above, so he could be fighting here for a top 10 finish. Chicken McHaggard just behind there. This is the battle for 6th. Chicken McHaggard really trying to reel in as many positions as he possibly can. Really close here down in turn 14. His best finish of the season so far has been 8th. He's already ahead of that now in 6th. If he can pick up 5th, that's going to be big news for Jet Lotus. And to take on the big boys like Serpent Racing, that's big stuff for Jet. Right on board with him here. This appears to be the closest battle of the race at the moment. We've got 10 laps to go. Looks all but certain for LMR Deftone to take his first win here at his debut race. Pole to win for him. That will be Midnight Performance Development's highest finish yet. It is their only pole of the season. Good to see that it comes from a new driver. We switch now to the Buhlenwald. Really consistent with his time at 1:31.782, off of his best of 1:31.772, still from earlier in the session. Race leader still there just up ahead. See how much further behind FMS Senna is. Honestly, not all that far. Looks like Buhlenwald. Is that Buhlenwald in the pits? It is. FMS Senna goes second. That's strategy from Buhlenwald there. He goes 4th now. That's Johnny Two Shoes up into 3rd. We'll see whether XPR Roadrunner likely will not be able to pass the Buhlenwald before he exits the pit. You see him there ahead. He will have a whole ton of speed, though. Down into turn 1. And this will be an interesting battle to the end of the race. especially with the Boulin Wall on cold tires right now. This is the time to pounce if Roadrunner's going to make it happen. Not with mistakes like that, though. We'll go back to Chicken McHaggard on overdrive. Equal situation. Now's the time to push. It's turn 7 there, a little wide from overdrive. It looks like here's going to be he backs out of it. He's a very safe driver. Doesn't want to make an aggressive maneuver. A little wide there from Chicken McHaggard. Jet Lotus could have had a position there, likely. He does drive a very cautious and respectful race. Tries not to interfere with anybody else's lines. Going down. Wow, this is going to be really close here. If he can get a good exit here, this could be good down into turn 1. He's picking up the draft. He makes the outside maneuver. He needs to really get this done before the braking zone. He has moved up a position. We'll see. Yes, he keeps it. That's Chicken McHaggard up into 6th. Overdrive down into 7th for the moment. We've got XPR Roadrunner ahead. Our race position right now is Deftone leading the race, FMS Senna in 2nd right now, Johnny Two Shoes 3rd, Boulin Wall 4th, XPR Roadrunner 5th, Chicken McHaggard here in 6th, XPR Overdrive is 7th, Alex P is 8th with 15% power restriction, XY101 is 9th for K-Trim Team GB, James Hall in 10th, Scurry 76 11th, the one named Jack still holding station there in 12th. Switch back to that race. That is the one named Jack picking up a position there from Scurry 76 into turn 1. It's a pretty good battle here at the back. It's been going for most of the race. Going wide there in turn 9 really costs you, as you have that straight there before you come down into turn 10. Lets you hit your top speeds, or at least get close to them. Consistency of James Hall ahead has kept the one named Jack K-Trim driver from being able to snatch up 10th position, coveted top 10 of this race. Is Senna making any ground? Let's see if we can peek into the corner. We cannot see. Yep, you can see the race leader there just finishing his lap. That is a significant gap to hope to make up by the end of the race, but Senna has done the impossible before, making up times. Look at that, 131.526. That is fastest lap of the race from FMS Senna, 131.797 from the AVR driver. Looks like he just needs to get in his groove. That is fastest lap of the race then from FMS Senna. Johnny Two Shoes then still 3rd. 132.195. Looks like a bit of an off. Last lap of 137.627. It's a 5-second mistake. Too many of those, and you'll fall back into the clutches of the Boulin Wall, and you'll see some more strategy happen. Another mistake. Is he looking to get off the podium? You gotta think he is. He lets Boulin Wall go by. Johnny Two Shoes then in 4th. He does not want that power restriction. We thought it was a mistake. Clearly not. They are looking ahead to Le Mans and planning their race accordingly. Not far behind his XPR Roadrunner, so now the game is on. He's got to finish strong and be consistent for the rest of the race. We are likely looking at our top three here then. That's LMR Deftone, FMS Senna in second, and the Boulin Wall 5 in third, unless we see more strategy from the Boulin Wall 5 to drop back further to avoid power restriction. Switch back to the one named Jack. Goes wide again, turn 9, falls back into 12th. Tire wear getting a little excessive. See if Alex P is anywhere near other competition. Looks like not. Can't see really any other competition directly ahead of Alex P here, so he is likely to finish 8th as well. See where James Hall is on XY 101. Looks like XY 101 not in sight for him. Johnny Two Shoes back up into 3rd. This is an interesting game of strategy here between the two of them. They can't play that game too much more unless they want to hand off that position to XPR Roadrunner. Which may be exactly what they want to do. Hand that power restriction to the higher-ranked Ferrari going into the final race. We've got 3 laps remaining here at the Italian GP at the Mugello circuit. That's XPR Roadrunner then going 4th, perhaps some strategy from them. To try and get Roadrunner there up into 3rd. Still quite close racing between all these top drivers. That's FMS Senna then lapping the one named Jack in 12th. Looks like LMR Deftone here, just trying to bring home the race, these last 2 laps here. Looks like lap down traffic. Gets around lap traffic, no problem. Heads into turn 12. Johnny Two Shoes, it looks like it's going to be a double Midnight Performance Development podium here. Looks like Johnny Two Shoes may let Serpent Racing, he does. He lets Serpent Racing go through for the podium. Clearly some strategy here to let the Ferraris acquire that 5% power restriction into the last race here. Chicken McHaggard just behind this group. They start their last lap. Looks like Buhlenwald trying to take 4th there. Johnny Two Shoes won't want that. He'll want to stay in 4th if at all possible. Strategy or not, anything off podium is fair game. Last lap here. That is the race win there for LMR Deftone, his first win of the season in his first race. FMS Senna then picks up 2nd for AVR. XPR Roadrunner will pick up 3rd, the last spot on the podium then, in just a minute for Serpent Racing. There he goes, picking up 3rd for Serpent Racing. That's 4th for Johnny Two Shoes for Midnight Performance Development. That's going to be great points for them. Buhlenwald is now 5th. Let's get Johnny Two Shoes finishing time there. Less than 1 second difference. We've got Chicken McHaggard here in 6th. That is his best finishing position of the season. Behind that, XPR Overdrive in 7th. Did finish with quite a bit of damage there. Let's take a quick look. 67% front damage. Does pick up 7th. Alex P there is 8th. XY101 is 9th. James Hall looks good to be finishing top 10 here. And Scurry 76 11th. And they're going to go across the line. There it is. The one named Jack then is our last position. He picks up 12th for Caterham Team GB. Catch us next time as we finish out the season at Le Mans in 2 weeks' time, June 16th, the finale of the 2013 season. Thanks for watching, guys.